Hey people, what is good? This is episode 78. This is John Mayer. The episode starts right now. Oh, hot damn. This is my jam. Keep me partying to the AM. What's up, John? How you doing, man?
Good. I like the freestyle, Jay. Keep it going. Don't stop.
It's bitten, okay? That's Flow Rider, so I gotta cite my source.
All right. All right. You,
Man, dude, I'm growing up in New York. I felt like everyone on my block could freestyle except for me. I'm like, man,
yeah,
I
but
can't
can
keep
they
up with you
karaoke
guys.
like you?
No, no.
Yeah,
Well, right, like volleyball, there's levels to that, right?
that's right. That's right.
So, how's it going, man? How's LMU? Did you have How did the pandemic affect your non-traditional season? And going pretty much going up to this point. Walk me through some stuff from a few months ago up till now.
Yeah, I mean, it affects everything. I mean, I don't want to make too big a deal because there's people who are sick and losing loved ones. So, there's nothing to complain about. But it's different. Yeah, normally normally we practice down at the beach and we can't do that. So we have one court on campus and we practice there. So one court's not a lot of space for 15 athletes. So we end up running, around 3 practices a day. The girls wear masks and, we get tested. And there's, unfortunately, some of the things that come out of that is there's more isolation. People aren't allowed to gather. And I think a big part of the college experience isn't just, the classroom. There's the social time, the social, aspect of it. And the team really misses out and the girls miss out on a lot of that. So it's a different world, but at the same time, we're thankful for what we have, and we know there's a lot worse things going on. So we're happy to be able to play volleyball and be together, even if it's in a different way.
That is a big, big, big point you made. I mean, think about full-time student is like 15 credits, all right? As little as 12,
Yeah,
as many, some go 18 and some maybe in the off season go buck wild with 21. But that's only a few hours out of the week. you know, think
yeah,
about anyone listening at home, right? Let's say you got like an 8 hour day, you work a 9 to 5. I mean, maybe you spend a lot of time sleeping. Maybe some of you out there value your sleep, like I'm sure John does. Like Kelly, dude, Kelly definitely does. But that is a lot of hours not in the classroom that, like you said, there's a fellowship and like you said, the full college experience that even makes some athletes not play a sport. Some
yeah,
people don't want their obsession with their sport to be the complete college experience, right? I
yeah.
mean,
Yeah,
right?
because you can miss out. No, I think some of the conversations, in between class, that's when you learn a bunch. You talk about someone from with a different viewpoint on something, and you stay up late with your roommate debating something, or even just normal fun college stuff. It's all gone, and
Yeah.
it's a sad thing for them. And the classroom experience it's like this. It's on Zoom. You don't get that interaction with your professor, with your fellow classmates. So there's big losses there, but it's everyone's in it and we're all trying to make the best of it, and that's all we can do for now, and hopefully we're heading the right direction and things will start to open up more in the near future, but we'll see.
Are you going to get into your speech about taking care of things you can control? Huh, John? Come on, man. No, you kidding? If there's anything I took from you, I was with you at LMU for a bit. Very, very happy that led to the WCCs. That was quite the moment, and I remember you telling me that was the only time your athletic director came through or had time to come through,
Yeah,
and that was the day you won the WCC. So
yeah,
I have a pretty cool picture behind me that you took with me, because I remember leaving early. I had to you already had your situation with how could I say, with grad assistants, for what was it called? What the hell was the position? The title called again?
oh, director of operations. Yeah,
Yeah. So you already had, DOOs and this and that. And me, I was doing color commentary for Pepperdine's home games and this and that. So I really wished that, because I was with you guys for most of that process. And you said the coolest thing. Like, I took a picture with you, and And I said, man, I wish I was a part of this. And you're like, you are a part of this, Jay. And I thought about it and I said, wait a second, he's right. He's right. Because
Yeah.
when I came on the year before, that team was like 6-13, and then the year I was with you, you guys were like 22-14, headed the right direction and going pair five, right, against top five teams. UCLA, you played them twice, but one of them was decided, 3 pairs of 2. Hawaii, that was a game you played at UCLA. A block schedule, and that went to like 5. I mean, of course, Hawaii, it's hard to beat them on that island. It's like they have superpowers. But I wanted to show you this. I actually have a camera, and I wanted to show you this picture. It's the cool thing about teching my own show. Let me see if I can find it. It's right here. Oh, no, that's not it. That's it right there. That's a picture.
Oh, there you go.
Picture of you and me. So this wall behind
awesome.
me, it's supposed to be all California stuff. Those are the coaching credentials and all that stuff. Everything else is like stuff that I've done from 1990 all the way to the present. Of course, consolidating, right? Because you can't take, when you move, you can't take everything with you. But speaking of interaction, I remember Bo's still with you, right? Is Bo on her senior year?
No, she's actually doing her master's at USC.
Oh,
And I believe she's on their roster. Yeah, it worked out. There's a program there that made a lot of sense for the direction she was going. So she's there. Yeah, hopefully we'll get to see her this season.
I really liked the conversation we had about, this was before they passed legislation about, I don't know what the term is, but basically for everyone listening at home, it's about players being able to profit from their likeness. And her and I had a heated debate where, like, Aaron Mansfield and you guys are like, are those two okay? We were at a restaurant because her whole argument was the rules are set there to protect this or to protect the players. But my argument was, I don't think the government should do it when it's convenient for somebody else to make money, right? Think about like John, how old do you have to be to serve in the military?
18, right?
18, right?
Yeah.
You can shoot somebody or you could have your leg shot off before you're even allowed to have a drink. So I mean it was a crazy argument. Like, you're a coach, you're getting paid, you're making money to coach, right? Some sports information directors or DOOs or assistant coaches, or some of them are volunteer, but some of them make money. The AD makes money. Sports talk shows. Max Kellerman, I'm making money right now just talking about sports, and to me it was crazy that a kid can't profit from their likeness. I'm not saying profit from playing the sport, but like, if you know Jason Olive for a long time, right? He was the first lawsuit because they said he couldn't model for Ralph Lauren and Versace at the time, and he's like y'all crazy as hell. So John, I guess my question is, it really hasn't messed with volleyball that much, right? It's not like volleyball was like as beach volleyball or indoor volleyball was a huge moneymaker for the colleges to begin with, right?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, probably, I think almost every sport but basketball and football, the universities lose money. So yeah, I don't know enough about the situation. I mean, I know most of our girls are really thankful when they're able to get money towards their education. So I know it's maybe a little different dynamic.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a complicated issue for sure for a football or basketball player, and I think there's a lot to consider in that conversation.
No doubt, absolutely. Yeah, for me, well, I guess I already made my stance clear, but I think beach volleyball is one of those sports that's going to be around for a long time, and it's going to make and it might pass women's basketball, and I mean, you think about the Big Ten, women's volleyball is already more popular than women's basketball. I mean that's to me that's the most powerful conference for women's indoor right now. I think you got Stanford as an outlier on the West Coast, but what else, But I think, John, that's where beach volleyball is headed. I think because it's such
That'd be great.
Yeah, man. What are your thoughts on that? I need to let you talk some, man. Come on.
Yeah, I'd love to see the sport continue to grow. I mean, the indoor game's it's got a 30-year head start, so it's hard to compare it. We're in such different places. I think the beach, we're a little more limited, maybe weather-wise and regionally, so that could slow it down. And then for sure, COVID's going to slow things down. I don't know if schools are going to want to add sports and the budgets behind it. But in terms of entertainment value, I think it's a really entertaining sport, and I think people would be excited to watch it. And I know it's done well with the Gulf Shores on ESPN. I think it's gotten some good coverage. But it's not something I think about a lot. Like, I want to grow the sport, but mainly I want to try to help my girls improve each day and prepare them for life after college. So if the sport grows, that'd be great. If not, it's a pretty cool community right now, and it's fun to get to do what we do.
Yeah. To me, it's very much like theater. Like, my major in college was theater at Marymount, Manhattan. I was in a BFA program. And if you wanted to network and, like, I guess, build your brand as an actor, like, there's certain schools you don't go to, and there's certain places you do go to. Like, Pace, the Actors Studio ran the MFA at Pace. So that's like 50 actors, 12 directors, right? Brooklyn College, 9 actors, 3 directors. So there are some people where they're just trying to hone their craft. Maybe they want to teach it someday in there, and they, I guess, par for the course, master, right? Master their art, and Brooklyn's where you want to go. But for networking, I guess it's so weird because volleyball seems to be doing a little bit of both. Girls beach volleyball. I think since it's become an NCAA sport, John, all of the club sizes have tripled. I think CIF has now named it an official high school sport, and we're off to the races. And we're off to the races. So my question to you, because I'm steering it somewhere Kanye West style, so people don't know what the hell I'm talking about, but I'm gonna bring it back. We had a conversation about bracketology the last time you were on my podcast, John Mayer, episode 30, I think. And at that time, I believe there were 8 teams. There were 3 from the western side of the country and 3 from the east and 2, just 4 and 4. Talk to me.
Let's see, I think it's 3 from the east, 3 from the west, and 2 wild cards.
Right. And now, what's going on? Because I remember I had an opinion about them having a Power 5 conference. Like, if they're only going to have 8 bids, man, just take the champion from each powerful conference and then have 3 at-large bids, which I thought was very sensible, What's going on with the bracketology?
Yeah, I'm not on the committee. I know Todd Rogers and Andrew Fuller are on the NCAA committee, and I think that they'd like to make it bigger. I think there's a proposal for a 12-team tournament and a 16-team. I know there's different options of doing like a regionals, maybe you do like a West Coast, a middle, like a Texas, and then a East Coast regional, and then end up somewhere. But all that stuff costs a lot of money. And as of now, there isn't the funding to expand it. So I think as of now and the foreseeable future, it'll be 8. And again, I don't think all the money the NCAA's lost from all the COVID cuts and no March Madness has really probably pushed back the expansion, I'd guess, a number of years. But for the amount of teams we have, we should have a tournament of at least 20 or more. If it was percentage-wise how most sports are supposed to be, we should have a much, much bigger bracket. So it's unfair to the athletes, unfair to the experience that they get. But it makes it, I guess, all the more special if you do get in that elite 8 to make it to Gulf Shores.
Yeah. I mean, for the people who missed the last podcast, for me, I said that there were 5 conferences. I think there's the Carolinas, and I think there's the conference where Florida State and LSU is in. Then you have the Pac-10 or whatever, or 12 or whatever the hell they're calling themselves these days. The Big West, where Todd Rogers is in with Cal Poly, and of course University of Hawaii, Long Beach State, and then of course the beautiful West Coast Conference has the Pepperdine. St. Mary's always produces a very good team every year, and now you have Jeff Alzina at Santa Clara. Things get better when that man's around all the time. Allie McCulloch, of course, is going to help with the Big West, because I think her and Kevin are highly capable coaches. So for me, I would have loved to have John. They're going to have, those are the teams that are going to afford a conference championship anyway. So name their conference championship an automatic bid, and then the other 3 are at large, at large bid. It broke my heart to see you guys win, climb out of hell in a double elimination tournament and have to beat Pepperdine not once, but twice. And then they ended up going because they were a length ahead of the race. as far as the race to the tournament as you than you guys were. So, I was like,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, no, it'd be nice. It'd be great. I mean, I think that's
Does that make
typically
sense to you though?
typically the conference tournament. The point of it is so you get automatic qualification.
Hmm.
Again, we're a newer sport, and that just wasn't in place yet. And I think it should be at some point. I don't know if you want to give away 5 spots. I don't know. I haven't looked at it close enough.
I
I
mean,
mean,
when you,
it'd be hard to limit it. I could
right.
see how, like, I don't know, if a conference has a down year, you might not want to give away one of those. But I think the way they do it now, it seems like usually the top 8 are in there.
Yeah,
So
it's
I think it's
true.
good. I think mainly we just got to make it bigger.
Yeah, like when FIU got in, everybody was like, huh? And then when they beat USC in the first round, they were like, okay. you know.
I think that was Stetson, but yeah, that
Oh,
was a big
Stetson.
win.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Yeah, that was a
Stetson.
big win.
Oh my goodness, that was a big win. And
Yeah.
that God, the coaching staff is really good there, by the way.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, "Oh man, they used a whole bunch of foreign players," and I'm like, "Man, just shut up, sit down, sit down." I mean, and the guy from UCLA saying that, I'm like, "Who's your pair one team?" He's like, "The McNamara's." I'm like, "Where are they from?" Canada. Sit down and shut up, right? USC, right? Who is their best player? At that time is Tina Gradina, the Latvian sensation.
Yeah, she's still
Um,
there. Yeah.
yeah, well, she's going to the Olympics, so
Yeah, but I think she's playing this year.
she is. She was on my
Yeah.
podcast. She was on 2 weeks ago. She was on the
Yeah.
podcast 2 weeks
Yeah.
ago. To me, she's the number 1 and number 2 player in college beach volleyball right now. I got to give the rub to Kristen Nuss from LSU.
Yeah.
Now she's picked up Taryn Cloth,
Hmm.
indoor player out of Creighton,
Hmm.
6'5" outside hitter, which is outside hitters are such great transition players to the beach. Don't you agree? I mean, you were an oppo and a setter, right?
Yeah, mainly a setter, but yeah,
Yeah.
one year I hit. Yeah.
But those are the 2 positions, in my opinion, that translate the easiest from the beach, indoor to the beach, because the fundamentals, the skills are already tight. At that
Hmm.
level, you have to pass with your forearms anyway. No one's passing with their hands unless they want to get their thumbs broken.
Yeah.
Um, so, who's the best player on your team without slapping anybody else down? Is it Aya, or you got someone coming up?
We're,
Who's your pair
we're,
one?
we're really thankful that, I mean, Ia has been great. She's a really good player. Gosh, I don't know. We don't know what our first pair right now. Reka Orsitoth is, a really high level player. Her partner last year, Selena Maroff.
Okay.
Megan Rice has really come on.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we have a pretty deep team.
Her breakthrough year was 2019. Just her finding herself and just, I followed you guys for a little bit and just watching her be a better version of herself, like pretty much every match, like a little bit better, this one a little bit better, a little bit better. And I'm like, wow, good for you, man.
Hmm.
For the people listening at home, that's the challenge that John in practice brings to his players. Pretty much every practice, every season. The one thing, and I want to give you the floor in a minute because come on, I'm inviting you. I'm doing all the talking. But one of the cool things and I've been coaching for a long damn time. I've been coaching longer than Betsy's lived. Congratulations, she got a baby, right? I
It's
saw that
exciting.
little, and you know
Yeah.
what? The baby didn't come out looking like an alien, right? Some of them are like, take me to your leader,
Yeah.
but and we're going to talk about your other coaches, your new coach, Carissa Cook, in a minute. But the coolest thing I got from one of your practices, and I mean, this is as close to tough love as I've ever seen you give someone. You said you can come to practice and you could do a bunch of things that you're good at, get a whole bunch of reps and then and feel good about yourself and then leave. And he says, but do you become a better player from that? And they're like, no. And you're like, I think you said maybe, maybe not, maybe or maybe not. But if you challenge yourself and then some demons you conquer in practice, or sometimes you get your butt kicked, I'm paraphrasing, you always learn, you always come out of learning at least one thing, and you had this whole you win or you learn thing. And I really like that. I thought that was
Yeah.
really cool. Floor is yours. Talk about that a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah, no, I think you nailed it. I think we all generally prefer comfort and we want to do what's easy. That's built into us, I think, from the evolutionary, our background. So yeah, I think what we want is, maybe easy serves and free balls and no wind and we just want things to be comfortable. But I don't think a lot of learning happens when you're comfortable and not being pushed and not being stretched, and not being, put at the edge of your abilities. So, and then on top of that, I think the practice has to be representative of a match. It has to be, you have to experience the same challenges, and in a match, the other team's trying to find your weaknesses, and they're trying to exploit where you struggle. So we want to create those same stresses and the same challenges when practice comes around. And I think that's where, if you do those things, then you can develop trust in yourself, and you can, maybe have more confidence heading into a match versus treating practice like, just a rep, feel good sort of deal. Then I don't think you haven't prepared, and I don't think you can trust that you're ready for whatever challenges you face when match time comes.
Cool. Well, let's get into the crux of the podcast. I had a lot of things I wanted to talk about, but before we run out of time, because you're a busy guy, you're probably going to live in the video room like a hermit after this. Reminds me of someone I know. I wanted to have a conversation about the most talented team versus knowing your partner. And I don't think you knew about this before or whatever. I didn't mean it. I'm not trying to drop this on you like a bomb, but how important is knowing your partner, having the best chemistry over having just your best two players, as far in regards to just trying to set up a pair of one or a powerful pair of one or a pair of two? I'll give you an example, like UCLA, when they won their second year, the best team was the McNamara's, but I thought the best player was Sarah Sponsel.
Mm-hmm.
So your thoughts on the conflicting forces of most talented team versus knowing your partner?
Yeah, I think if I understand right, I think probably more so on the women's side, maybe having team chemistry and really feeling like you have the right balance of maybe emotional strengths and personality. I think that can be a really important factor to consider. I think it really matters on the male side too, but maybe even more important on the female side. But I think in the end, I would take trying to find the right skill set. Like, we try to look at the numbers. How's her first ball side out? How much does she point score when she serves? How is her transition attacking? How can this player maybe, if she has a weakness, then can her partner kind of maybe bring a strength that'll kind of balance out that weakness. So I think the answer is always both. Like, you want to find the right chemistry so that they can bring the best out of each other. But I think you can build chemistry, and if they play well and they win, then they'll like it. Mm-hmm. So I think it's more important maybe that you get the right pieces, like the right strengths, in terms of, can they point score, can they can they side out, things like that. So I don't know if I'm really answering your question, but I think both matter, and you got to consider it all.
Well, the question comes in so many layers, right?
Mm-hmm.
So keep going.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I think that's it. I think you can build chemistry, and you can improve at the skills too. Like, if you're not, I don't know, if you get aced a lot, and I think you can improve at that. But if you have a player who maybe gets aced a lot and struggles in serve receive, maybe it makes sense to put them with a player who can pass a lot of the court and make the court smaller for them. Mm-hmm. And I'd consider that before I'd be like, well, is their personality type right for this player? I definitely consider all of it, so I don't think it's an either or. But yeah, I think there's a lot to consider. It's really hard to figure out the right team, and I really value the players' input. Who do they like playing with? Who do they feel like they play well with? And I think if they feel like they're a part of the decision, then they're more motivated once the decision's made.
No doubt. Yeah.
So I think it's one of the hardest parts of our job as college coaches, trying to figure out the right teams.
And it's 10 times more important for women's volleyball than it is men's. Men, honestly, I guess probably because I've been coaching men more than I've been coaching women, the beginning and the middle of my career. But I know the first 15 minutes of practice, who goes well where. And women, I'm just like, man, I gotta see more. I gotta see more. I gotta do this. Okay, I gotta look at video. I gotta do that. So, and think about it. You as a former player, like, I think talent-wise, at the time, I thought Trevor Crabb was probably and I'm only going like a 3-year period of your partner switches. You played with Avery Dross, you played with Ryan Dougherty, you played with Stafford Slick for a bit. Like Trevor might have been the most talented partner, but I thought chemistry-wise, the most successful partner was you and Avatar. So, so I mean, tell me.
Oh, I mean, yeah, he's a stud. I love
Yeah.
playing with him. I mean, we won 2 FIVB events, and he was great. Ryan, I think, yeah, Ryan and I were probably closer to our peak when we played together, where we were both playing at probably the highest level we'd played. Personality-wise, we got along really well. We were pretty low-key, mellow on the court, and just had a similar values, similar goals. Jeff Nygaard was a guy I saw eye to eye with. We
Yeah.
trained. We just trained in a similar way and approached the game in a similar way. So, yeah, I think it's a little bit of like the right person at the right time. Jeff was great for me because it was the end of his career and the beginning of mine, so I got to learn a lot from him.
Yeah.
And I wanted to, I think I hopefully played a little bit of that role with Trevor. I mean, I learned a lot from him, but I liked the idea of imparting some of my experience, some of my knowledge, and growing together. But yeah, I mean, I was lucky to have a lot of good partners.
Yeah. I also think you bring a discipline to your partnerships that I'm not saying that they're not disciplined. I'm not going to make that a logical leap, but like there is, as far as a time and a place to do something, not just show up to practices, but allotting a time for this, allotting a time for that. You had this really cool thing about things that you thought you did. Like if I'm your partner, something I thought you did well, and then you come back at me one thing you feel you want to do better, and like that give and switch, which I, by the way, implement in all of my beach practices, and then
Nice.
and the men hated it, but they like it now. They get it. They get it. And now in these real game situations, they'll do something and then they'll look at me and be like, "Hey, that was from practice. That was from practice."
Yeah.
So is Stafford gone? Is he done with volleyball?
Yeah,
Did I hear that
Stafford,
right?
I know, yeah, you should talk to him more.
Okay.
I know he, 3 kids now, and there's a lot of uncertainty around the AVP. So I think he's working right now, but I'm sure I could see if the AVP kind of has a full schedule, I could see him coming back.
Okay.
I think he's got to, take care of his family first and have a paycheck each week to pay for those diapers.
No doubt,
But
man.
yeah, I don't know what he's going to ultimately do. And I think it was a sad part. I think it was 2010 when the AVP went bankrupt. I had started playing around 2004, and it was a crossroads for me. It was like, is this going away? I've put so much into it. Should I stop playing? Should I get into coaching? And I considered stopping. But that year, I think we lost a lot of good players. People like Aaron Watchvogel, Mark Williams, Billy Strickland. There's a number, and female players too.
Yeah.
That lull, it's like, well, I can't just like keep practicing and have no tournaments and not make money. I have to get a job. And I imagine the same thing will happen with COVID. I think it'll send some players away sooner than, maybe they would have. I think they would have played longer. So I hope Stafford's not one of those. I hope he's back, and I hope there's tournaments to play. But
Wow.
those are the hard decisions. You got a family and got to take care of that family.
Yeah, I mean, I call it playing house. Dude, I got to play house, meaning you got to take care of your bills, you got to take care of your things at home, from a monetary or that grounded first chakra type thing, like your security, right? Your
Yeah.
base.
Yeah.
And not to mention, you have 3 kids. You do not want to allow life to pass you by where you miss these moments and this and that.
Right.
I took a giant step back from volleyball. Everybody's like, "Where's Jason?" I don't hear his big mouth, on the podcast. I don't see him on the beach because a lot of times I'm on the beach coaching or I'm just watching people play because that's how we ingratiate ourselves in the sport. But I'm like, I got a 4-year-old, dude. I got a cute little towhead at home, and I'm not trying to have that. And it's weird because even though the AVP or like men's pro beach volleyball seems like a part-time gig, to prepare for it, it's with a heightened level of success, it's a full-time gig.
Oh, yeah.
Look, I was gonna say you and Billy Allen should just go play one just for fun because I remember watching you guys qualify for Norseka. I remember you and him played a little small ball, and you guys split block until I think one of you felt a little better about it than the other. I think Billy took some blocks or whatever, this and that. So I implemented a lot of your defensive stuff in my men's practices. And balance, to me, balance is the key for defense, because I've seen you play where you have good twitch reaction, you have good breakaway speed, you have decent quickness, John. But you always put yourself in a position where the ball comes to you. And you always, sometimes if you feel like you have to wait a little longer to make one move instead of two moves, I thought you were very, very good with that. And it's so much fun, me as a coach, as a beach coach, because when I was with you, I was a rookie, dude. When I was at LMU, look, I had coaching experience, but this beach thing and understanding why it works, and man, it's just amazing. Let me shut up, because I'm supposed to be. This isn't an interview; it's a podcast. So that's why I'm allowing us to just do and say whatever we want. But my fear, John, was that like this pandemic might have spelled might have been the beginning of the end for men's volleyball. Women's volleyball, I think when the pandemic hit, was already a snowball rolling down the hill, getting a little bit bigger. And I knew if the NCAA invested in it, and if the high schools and clubs invested in it, it has legs of its own. But the men, even to this day, even though it's the more popular sport to watch in the Olympics, and the finals is more dynamic and engaging than the women's finals, taking nothing away from Kleiman and Ross or whatever. I mean, for a sport that everybody's going bananas about, it's suffering, And I guess my question to you is, does this survive the pandemic? I'm asking an optimist here. Tell me, John.
On a professional level?
Yes.
Gosh, I'd have to talk to Donald's son, and I'm not in on the business side of things. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't see why it'd be any different than the women's side. I mean, I think they're comparable, and the FIVB is the same thing. I think it's the same funding. It's covering both of them. So I don't see I think COVID will affect both. I don't see it affecting the men more than the women. For sure, the NCAA, obviously, there is no men's volleyball, and I don't think it got any closer with all these budget cuts. So it's probably further away than it was. Mm-hmm. And I don't even know if there even was any glimmer of hope. I doubt that there will be. I would imagine men's indoor would happen, or men's indoor would grow more before they'd add another sport like men's beach. And hopefully there'll be a club level of college beach for men.
I would do that. I mean, I would sign me up. Yeah, Stanford. Awesome. I had Wendy Jones on the podcast, and we were talking a little bit about Stanford and them actually just trying to raise money and save their program. But the crazy thing is, there's so many things outside of the money that even if they did come up with the money, they still probably wouldn't save the program. And it's so frustrating to me, John, that men's volleyball, you could use that as an excuse every year. Even if you have a good year, men's volleyball is not going to make money for the college. So to me, I always say you have to treat men's volleyball like the arts. It ain't doing nothing. It's just something, like you said, for the college experience and interaction and fellowship and through performance. I'm very, very disappointed that Stanford, on the outside in, didn't even look like they were trying. I mean, I learned more, and they were. But Wendy Jones has a son that's a freshman there right now. That's why. Her daughter's at TCU playing for Hector, so she's one of these volleyball moms that's just producing babies that are going to play, that are playing competitive volleyball. So, but think about it, right? The only one that's even making money is the head coach, right? I mean, that's not even a lot of money. It's not like a regular D1. All of the assistants are volunteer. The net and the system and the facilities are already there because they have a women's team. They don't travel a lot. I mean, Stanford, unless if you want to play them, you have to fly to them or catch them on a block schedule if they're playing, if they drive a bus to USC or whatever. So I really, really hope they do good things with that program. I mean, they were a good team when you played at Pepperdine, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of legends have come through Stanford. It's been a good program for a long time. Yeah, Canyon Seaman, Matt Furbringer, Kevin Hansen, the Olympian.
Mike Lambert.
Mike Lambert. Yeah.
Oh, that's before you.
But yeah, it's a serious program, and it's been a really good program. And I don't think any NCAA sports are making money other than men's basketball and men's football. So I think men's volleyball is similar to women's gymnastics, or I mean, I don't know the business side that well, but yeah, I don't think it's a big hole in their budgets. But yeah, it's sad if to lose that program, and I hope there's no more coming out. My impression is there aren't, but unfortunately, I think men's volleyball was growing a little bit, and maybe that's gotten slowed down.
Yeah. I mean, in the East Coast, we lost, at the time you were playing at Pepperdine, they'd lost like 5 D2 programs that were really, really good. LIU, Southampton. Mike Sala came out of that school. They don't even have I don't even think they have a campus anymore. But like East Stroudsburg University, Concordia, in upstate New York, which is basically a foreign player school contingency, not to be compared with the Concordia here. In fact, in my opinion, there's no comparison. But yeah, say Cal Baptist. They just became NCAA, and now they don't have a team. They were NAIA for a long time. So
Yeah.
so before I ask or present my last topic, I have a humorous thing. I had Kelly Kalinsky on the podcast, right? I had
Yeah.
Dane Blanton on the podcast. And I asked Kelly, is Pepperdine the cool kid school? Think about the nicest human beings I ever met in my life. And like all of you played for Pepperdine. Like Jeff Stork, nice guy. Bob Stavertley, nice guy. Dane Blanton, he's only one or two people that have the Triple Crown, right? He has an AVP championship, Olympic gold medalist, and an NCAA. As far as the men are concerned, only he and Karch, right? So,
Wow, I didn't realize that.
So, there's no one else unless you wanted to play, come back and play. But Sean Rooney, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I had Ryan Millar. He's like on who played for BYU. He's like, yep, that's the nice guy. That's a cool kid school.
Yeah, that's nice people to say. Yeah, I mean, gosh, I never thought of myself as cool, so I don't know if I fit in there, but there's a lot of good people.
We'll just call you nice.
There's a legendary coach, I can speak for the men's side, Marv Jumphy, who has created a culture of developing men and developing people who want to push themselves to be their best. And there's a real camaraderie. I think people who I didn't even play with, people who played 10 years before me, 10 years after me, I feel a bond with because of the culture that Marv's created. So yeah, I feel really privileged and thankful that I got to be a part of that program and to play there and to be,
And you won a chip.
Yeah, we won my senior year.
Yeah.
And that was really special. I mean, all 3 years I was there, we were really good. I was there at a time where Marv had it going. So yeah, I mean, it was a great experience, and gosh, I still, anytime I can spend around Marv, I'm thankful for it. And anytime I can see old teammates, I love it. So yeah, Pepperdine's great. I mean, my wife played volleyball at Pepperdine, and
She did.
Cool, man. People there. Yeah.
Yeah, man. God, I love volleyball wives. Kelly plays. She's a monster.
Yeah.
Kelly, every time someone sees her play, it makes them question their own game, because there are people that train, they work out for this, they watch video for this, and she doesn't even do anything. She just gets on the court and plays. So I'm like, they're like, what the hell am I doing wrong? that she could just, be like, at that age and just roll up, so I like girls like her. But the one of the last things I wanted to talk about was was LMU. You had this pattern as a coach. Every year, the team is a little bit better. All right. So basically, it's like a rebuilding year. There's a year to compete, and there's a year you're like, all right, let's make a run at this chip. I thought you did a magnificent job at Santa Monica. Had Nick DiMatteo talk about what the team looked like when you got there and what they become. In fact, as little as one season later, right? They were like 0-11 to like wow. So first year, you guys were under 500. Year I was with you, 22-14. Last year, I think 1-9 or something like that, or 2019, 2020. I just want to erase that year from my life. We could just call this 2020 now instead, and still remember Sean Connery died or Alex Trebek. So where are you as far as how close are you to competing for the chip right now?
Yeah, I don't know if I could answer. I haven't seen any of the teams this year. It's weird because normally we have the fall season where we get to kind of get a sense of, how the other schools are, and we can kind of see how we line up. And I haven't seen anybody play. Last year, I thought we were pretty good. I thought we beat a couple good teams, and we pretty much have the same roster. We were lucky to bring everyone back, and we added Ia, who's a great addition, and a couple good freshmen. So I think we're good, but I think everyone else got to keep their seniors too. I think LSU, like you said, got to keep.
Well, they're number one right now, in my opinion.
Yeah. I know SC's lineup. If you look at SC's lineup, it's pretty scary.
Yep.
UCLA is always good. Florida State. So, yeah, I don't know. I know we're going to get a little bit better each day, and if that's good enough to beat the other teams, then we'll be excited.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what makes college beach volleyball unique, right? Like, look, if I just had to pick pair ones, it's LSU. Taryn Cloth and Kristen Nuss have been running roughshod over everybody from the pandemic all the way to I guess going to Florida, Louisiana, where they're a little bit more lax with their rules. They went to 12 tournaments and they won all 12. And they beat Kelly Kalinsky and Stockman 2-0. They beat Bree Scarborough and Davis 2-0. I mean, college players just housing people. Then, of course, you got Tina Gradina, who's, I don't know who her partner is going to be for USC right now, but she's going to the Olympics. While everybody else is chilling in Hawaii, for the AVP. This one went to China for a bid tournament, and she won. And, she came, again, she was on the podcast because her mentor, Aldis Lucis, who lives in Latvia, was the guy. He's the guy that taught me how to play. He was my mentor. He spent 2 decades in New York. He was at UCLA with Karch in 1979, like some 4th string setter, but also in the wrestling team. So, but the reason why I asked that is because, John, you go again from here. I see a pattern. I see a pattern the way I think every coach that wants to turn a program around. I see this pattern where you're here, and then this year we want to make a run, and if we don't do it, all these girls are seniors. We're definitely going to win the year after that. So we can try to repeat, or we can do this, one-on-one. So that is the advantage. How deep is your pairs, right? Because Pepperdine. Your pair one. I'm not saying it was a mismatch because Savannah was a good player and Bo is only getting better as we speak, but you won 2, 4, and 5. I think, or 2, 3, and 5 twice.
In 2019, I think it was 2, 3, 4.
2, 3, and 4.
Yeah.
But the first time, because it was double elimination, you had to play Pepperdine twice.
Oh,
the first time,
right.
Who's the girl from A&M? Who's the transfer from A&M? She was with you, Paige.
Yeah.
She. I remember. I was there. I filmed that game actually.
Yeah.
Come on, you're right. I was a part of it. I filmed that game. But So how deep are your pairs?
I think we're getting better. I don't know. I haven't seen the 5s at SC. I haven't seen the 4s at LSU. I don't even know who our 4s and 5s are.
Okay.
I know that every spot's so important, and we put the same attention into each player, and we don't go, we got to prioritize her because she's a 1 and she's a 6. We just know we want to figure out what's the most important thing for her to get better at today.
Mm-hmm.
And, how can we put her in the right environment to allow her to grow? And if we can do that, then I think, we'll have a shot at playing our best.
Well, John,
but I don't know how to, it's hard to compare. No one's played a match in a year.
Well, I wasn't actually talking about comparisons. I was talking about the foundation of you as a coach, taking care of things you can control over things that you can't, So my question was, as far as the depth in your pairs, and was their ability to take care of things they can control, like are your players getting better in windy situations, or certain things that seem problematic or dwindling away. So which is going to provide you depth in the 3, 4, and 5 position, which which can win you a championship. You just need three. You just need three. So as far as taking care of controllables, I guess I'll ask the question another way. Do you see improvement in that?
It's so many people. It's across, some players are improving and some take steps back. I think learning is really nonlinear. We all want it to be like this, like steady, but it's really nonlinear. So it's like there's dips and then there's
Right.
jumps and then there's dips. And so I don't know. It's hard to go through like each player. I think each player is on a different path. But I mean, our goal is to help them improve and improve at the right areas.
Okay.
We're watching film and trying to create the right drill, the right activity, the right environment, the right feedback, so that they can grow a little bit, as they go through it. But we really care about each girl and we want to see them be the best they can be.
Oh, John Mayer. You tap dance like the late great Gregory Hines, man. I was trying to get you to get some names, but listen, you've always been a complete team person, so I'm not gonna press you on that. Last but not least, got Carissa Cook in your house right now, right? Long-time player, I believe. Did she play at Stanford?
Yeah.
Okay, and yeah, good player and highly knowledgeable player. Her face to me says no nonsense, very much like Betsy. I don't know if it's like the same killer mentality, but how much having her on board, how much has that been helpful, useful to you, and how much has she picked up as far as your coaching philosophy? And of course, in conjunction with Aaron Mansfield, still with you guys.
Yeah, just the indoor. He's not with us on the beach anymore. But
Okay.
but I talk to him a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Betsy's a killer for sure. You nailed it. Carissa's got a sweeter side
Okay.
than Betsy, and in a good way. Betsy's, competitive off
Yeah.
the court. She's
Man, that kid's gonna be toilet trained at gunpoint. Yeah, but talk to me a little bit about Carissa
yeah,
and to the
Carissa's
people
great.
listening.
Betsy's been the only coach I've had with me. I started in 2015, and she graduated. So I coached her at LMU, and then she was my first assistant. So we've been together, coaching together, or I've been coaching her for 10 years. So we had a pretty steady thing going, and kind of didn't even have to say stuff. And we knew, she kind of knew what I wanted, or I knew what she wanted. So it's a big loss. To lose her is tough. But Carissa, gosh, she just came in and she really has a sense of kind of what's needed where, and she's really adaptable. But I mean, basically, like, she has a really positive mentality. She loves volleyball. She's a volleyball rat. Like she plays, like, she'll play fours all the time on the weekends, and then yeah, she's really sharp and really good with people. And I don't know, I think we just hit a home run getting her. We got really lucky to kind of get her as a super sub for these 4 months in this season. She coached at Stanford as an assistant for 3 years, so she knows the college game. And yeah, she's just been great. And it's been fun for me to learn from someone different. Betsy and I had really similar perspectives.
Mm-hmm.
And to get Carissa's viewpoint and kind of understand how she sees things, and helps me learn more, helps me grow.
No doubt, no doubt. And so it's you, Carissa, and who else?
My younger brother, Joseph, he's the volunteer. Yeah.
Joseph. Oh my! Anyone who's ever seen this kid, he looks like John Mini-Me. I've actually coached against your brother for boys indoor. I forgot who he was, whatever, but I really like that kid. He's just, no matter what kind of talent falls in his lap, because club can be different like that. Certain clubs want to go to certain places and this and that. Man, that kid can scrap. That kid can, as a coach, that kid can scrap. I played him so many times, and maybe 4 times total, and all 4 went to the third set. And I've had some teams, on 2 occasions, I had a team that was more talented, but I'm telling you, sometimes, right, hard works beat talent when talent don't want to work hard.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
No,
So how cool is it having him? Talk to me about having your brother.
Oh, it's fun. Yeah, I mean, I think he probably gets frustrated with me, and I'm probably tougher on him than I need to be. But he's really eager to improve as a coach. He really is into it. He's coaching nonstop in the club level. He wants the experience. He wants to understand the game at a high level. I think he sees this as his career path. Whether it's indoor or beach, he wants to be in the college game and coaching it. So
Right.
he's great with the girls. His enthusiasm for the sport and enthusiasm for people is great to have around. And yeah, no, it's fun to be able to spend time with him.
I like that kid a lot, dude. I like that kid a lot. And hopefully he has a heightened emphasis on controllables like you do. And again, for people listening to the podcast, when we don't just mean on-court stuff, because I had a little debate about you about on-court stuff, about I believe losing the teams that are better than you and beating teams that you're better than as far as on-court controllables. But you mentioned stuff like the weight room, right? The other team can't control how much time you spend in the weight room. The other team can't control if you're doing the dunes and you have like a certain time you want to do the dune or stairs or whatever, or not just repetitions, but like competing to physically prepare yourself, as well as sports psychology. Those are things that you brought to my attention that I didn't even know we were talking about until you brought it to my attention. And I was like, okay, I'm an idiot. Okay. I get it. So I really, if he comes in with that kind of same philosophy, he just might be another you coming up, and you always want people to be better than you. So, you're like, don't be me, be better than me. So that's always been your mentality. So I was very happy about that. So when's your first game? I know people can't come, but when's your? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, February 27th. We're out at Florida State. We play, I think, Georgia State first, and then a couple hours later, we play Florida State. So yeah, we open up with some tough teams.
You said Fort Sill?
At Florida State.
Oh, okay. Florida State. Okay. I'm like,
Yeah.
Fort Sill.
Yeah. No, so we got Georgia State first and then FSU second.
FSU. Cool. Who's coaching FSU right now?
Brooke Niles.
Right, Brooke.
Yeah.
And Georgia. Who's coaching them?
Georgia State is Beth Van Fleet.
Got it. Nice. Yeah. Yep. Hey, big up to our guy, Tom Black, right? In women's indoor, still with Georgia right now, trying to do good things out there. That's I call him and Aaron his Jedis. I mean, Dumpy's the common denominator. I get that, but Tom Black is good company to keep. Even though, as far as indoor volleyball is concerned, people will disagree with me, but as far as someone who star power versus the actual ability to do the job right here, right now, gotta go with Mansfield. Gotta go with Mansfield. I give Mansfield a rub on that. As far as doing more with less, as far as being capable of doing the job right here, right now. Just like chemistry versus the conflicted forces of chemistry versus talented teams, star power and reputation, which automatically commands a discipline, versus someone doesn't know. A lot of people don't know very well that are just savages. I mean, Aaron comes from a long line of coaches, but I'm telling you, outside of the region, a lot of people don't know him. But I am so glad I met that dude, man. I am, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's not enough nice things I could say. He had a kid, right? A couple of years. He's got a 4 and a 2, I think.
Yeah, 2 boys. Yeah, maybe 5 and 2. Yeah. But yeah.
And how was yours? How was your little monster?
She's actually 8 today.
What?
Yeah. Growing up fast.
Jeez, I remember when she was 4. I got one that's 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everything that kid went through at 4, where she's running around the house like it's the Wild Wild West. That's me right now, John. That's me right now.
Yeah,
listen,
that goes fast.
Yep. Look, that's all I got. Sorry I talked more than you, but sometimes I got to do that to get that out of you. I'm not saying you're shy, but we both know who the extrovert is here. Kelly sends her love, all my love to you and your family. And I would love for Ia to come on the podcast. I mean, I would definitely run it by you first, but at any point that she wants to come on before the season starts, let her know. I mean, 2 weeks ago I had Tina, and then the week before that I had Kristen Nuss and Taryn Cloth. So it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, mostly I'm interviewing pros and coaches, but it's not uncommon for me to tap into the college scene. So
he is gonna be a pro. She loves the game, and
she's a savage, dude.
She's so passionate about it.
Oh my goodness, how much of I see a little Betsy in her. on the defense, as far as like the mobility and allowing the game to come to her, very much like you. Oh my goodness, dude, she's gonna be great.
Yeah.
Anyone want to know more about LMU volleyball? Plug in a site for them, for our people listening.
Oh gosh, I don't know. Google LMU Beach Volleyball.
LMU Lions. You
Yeah,
just
there
say
you
Google.
go.
Just say Google. Okay. He's like, what else am I supposed to say, Jay?
Yeah, I don't know the address.
All right. Yeah. All right. So listen, this ain't even gonna be one of these 2-hour deals for you, all of y'all listening at home. Okay. John Mayer may love you, but I can't stand you. In fact, I had enough of all of you. So all of you at home, all of you on your iPads or your iPhones at Starbucks, all of you on your droids, all of you on your desktop, who runs the world? Old school. For John the Mayor. I'm Jason DeBiss. This is episode 78 of the Option Podcast. We're out. Come check out the Option Podcast on optionvb.com. It's also available on iTunes and Spotify and on YouTube under the NY Varsity Sports handle. You're going to love what you hear.